Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I'm coming to here tonight with this special premiere. It's not live, guys. It's pre-recorded because Lisa and I are going to make things work if it's the last thing we do. So, if you guys have been trying to watch us today, this is take three of my
Yes, ma'am.
interview with Gino's sister, Lisa. Thank you
How's everybody doing?
me. This is great. Okay. We got a way to make it work. We did Zoom.
Yes,
We're recording this and we're going to get your story out there. So
I
first of all,
appreciate you.
no problem at all. Um, I interviewed your Uncle Marco not too long ago.
Props to Uncle Marco. I love
We
him.
love you, Uncle Marco, if you're listening.
Hey, that's how we do it. We're Palazzolo's.
And you guys stick together. You guys are family.
Yes.
So Uncle Marco um told me about how you basically raised your siblings.
Yes, ma'am.
So your mom passed away when you were young. How old were you and how old was Gino?
Right on. God, that'll take us back to 77, long time ago. And the good old 70s. I was 14 years old.
Okay.
And my brother Gino, there was my brother Tony is the next one down.
Right.
And I was like 5 years apart from him. I was the oldest, and then there was like 5 years apart. Gino was eight though.
Okay.
And yeah, he was 8 years old.
And you have a younger sister as well, right, Rita?
Yes, she was only 3 months old when my mother passed. So of course I promised my mother the last thing she asked was please take care of the kids, Gino. And, he was very close to my mother. They all went through different things and I helped them get through it. My
Right.
dad really wasn't there. He was a lot of the cause of it, you
Okay.
know. So there was a lot of resentment there. I left home at an early age and left them to do their thing. But we had got a stepmother, blah, blah, blah. And she was mentally abusive too. So there was a lot of abuse and a lot of, I think, abandonment in Gino's life as far as my mother passing and
Right.
different issues I think he's going through, or I think he's becoming a lot better. He has like faith in himself now and everything, thanks to 90 Day Fiance. And thanks for Jazzy leaving him
Uh,
because that was the best thing she could have did for him.
and we're gonna get into all this in a
Yes,
second.
ma'am.
Um, do you think your mother passing away had an effect on Gino when it comes to his relationships?
Yes, I really do. I know as far as myself, it has played a major role, but I was pretty traumatized. I think Gino was traumatized, like I said, as well. He had a special bond, and my mother was going through her last weeks of life at our home. I took care of her, and Gino, it hit everybody grieves differently. It's a process.
Right.
And I think Gino's process carried on through a lot of his adulthood. And yes, the answer to that question would be yes, I think it played a major role.
Now, do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
think it also played a major role in the type of woman that Gino seeked out?
Um, I think that, after his first marriage with Denise, she was from Brazil. He liked girls out of the country always. It was weird because we always said, why don't you date someone local?
Right.
He was always like a mystery that way. I mean, as far as his sex life, I'm not mad, because I have my past, whatever we all do.
And do
But,
you really want to know about your brother's sex life? I mean, like,
I know, right? But
like,
what I'm saying is, as far as that goes, I think that him doing the sugar babies or sugar whatever you want to
right,
call it
right,
was a way for him not to get attached because he didn't want to be abandoned. You know what I mean? I think
right,
so. It was easier to just give some money for some company.
right. I see what you're saying. And it does, make sense. Like the pieces of the puzzle keep falling in because I know a lot of people, look at Gino and they kind of see him as a weird person, but they
It is
don't.
sort of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I get around him, like we'll drive to my brother. We don't really, I'm a lot closer to my next brother down, Tony. Gino was always really super quiet and withdrawn, I guess you would say.
Introverted in a way.
Introverted, exactly, Mary. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. And I appreciate you. And yeah, so I guess that would answer that.
So, when did you first hear about Jasmine?
Um, I believe we were at a Thanksgiving get together, and my brother had shown me his phone, and he's very quiet, always has been, but we'll say, you got a girlfriend, he'd show us the phone. And I believe we stayed the night. We did at my brother Tony's. He'd always have the get-togethers,
Right.
and now I do it, but Tony did it back then, and because he's the oldest son, and because we have a lot of traditions. Like Christmas, we have spaghetti dinner. We have something Italian dish,
Of course, yes.
and wine. But um, I'm sorry. Back to the question.
When did you first hear it? Like, when did
Oh
you
yeah. Okay. So
tell
we
you about
stayed the night,
her?
and the next morning, he's like, "Well, I have to go in the bedroom and talk to my new girlfriend, Jasmine. She's in Panama, and she had a tight leash on him, boy, because he was like, she gets really mad if I don't, call her, and he had to be by himself because I guess she would get so mad if, she would hear me my voice, even being his sister. I guess she was a real jealous person like that.
Okay.
And and when she came here, they would go out for dinner, and she got mad at Gino for tipping a waitress or something, saying she's hitting on him. And people that accuse someone like that are really guilty, like she ended up being.
Yeah, they usually are. They usually are. So, do you know whose idea was it to sign up for 90 Day Fiance? Was it Gino or Jasmine's?
I believe it was Jasmine's, because I don't think my brother would actually know how to go about doing that. But
Okay,
maybe he did. I don't know, really.
right. Okay. So,
Good question.
you never got to personally meet Jasmine, and one of the big
She
arguments
wanted $100 to meet her,
he I'm sorry,
at her wedding. I
right?
heard that if you wanted to meet Jasmine, even being a family member, you had to give her $100, unless you were filming. Like
For
Uncle Marco walked her down the aisle of that, but like I would have been an outsider,
right.
and that's another big thing that I wasn't invited. But
And we're gonna get into
what are you
that.
gonna do, eh?
Right, exactly. We're
Forget about it.
like I want to start from like the beginning when like Jasmine first entered his life and you guys started hearing about her.
Yeah, I heard about her on Thanksgiving. And
Right,
like I said, they were talking on the phone. I heard them talking. I could tell she was very jealous. So I would even question him at that point. But, I talk a lot where Gino doesn't talk. And I don't hold my tongue. I tell him how I feel.
right,
I've always been like that. I can talk about anything, obviously. And Gino doesn't like to talk that much. He never did, but I know now he does. Like
right,
at our last Christmas party, he was having fun, showing us a picture of his new girlfriend and
right, exactly.
her perspective or whatever.
So the first I want to say argument that is breaking out between Gino and Jasmine that's playing on the internet is about their first Christmas spent together in the States.
Oh gosh, let me tell you.
Okay, so according to Gino, she had the option to go to a huge family gathering and she chose to stay home and do cameos. Now, you tell
Yeah.
me your perspective from that day.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about that. I was really upset, and needless to say, I am not ever threatened or harassed this girl. I did nothing but reach out to her very kindly. I was trying to be a sister, and I had forwarded you messages.
And we're
Um,
all those messages, I'm going to edit them in so everyone could see them.
yeah, and I told her that we're getting vegan food because she's vegan. My friend spent a lot of money on it. I brought her a Christmas gift. And Gino came and he was really sad. And we were all hyped up. We were finally going to meet Jasmine, the mystery girl, because I was really starting to take it after the messages I sent her progressed. She never would respond. I would call her, say, sister, and I really want to meet you. And then I started getting like, we're gonna meet because it's a small town. What are you gonna
Right.
do?
Exactly.
And really, I started getting like a little angry because of the fact she never wanted to include me. Back to Christmas, Gino gets to the party and he looks very depressed. Where I thought he would be happy. Jasmine had just got to the States, and I knew she was a little fishy, as they say, because she was doing Cameo and OnlyFans, and I happen to know those are adult industry type things.
OnlyFans. Well, actually, I mean, it depends on how you use it because on OnlyFans there's like cooking shows, but that's a whole nother story. Jasmine's not using it for cooking. Um,
I love it. Yeah, cooking her frog. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
Um, Ribbit. No, I'm kidding. But
And so
anyway,
so she had to stay home because she had all these cameos to
yeah.
do.
So, anyways, so I did not like right away that hit me like, oh, she's Rob took it away on that word.
Right,
So, anyways, I took it to heart and I had got her a gift and everything.
right.
Well, Gino was like sort of short. He was really withdrawn. He didn't want to talk. I could tell he was tearing up and it really sort of hurt. I was getting pissed off. Okay.
Right,
And because I don't like no one hurting him. That's my little brother. I raised him. I'm like his mom in a way.
right,
He was very hurt when I left because I said I left early. But back to the Christmas. Um, he was very depressed, and then he grabbed my gifts and the gifts Lori and Tony and
right,
got.
right.
He always comes empty-handed, but we don't care. And I gave him the gift, but I didn't give Jasmine hers because he took the gifts and went home very abruptly. And then I guess later that evening he gets home to find out that Jasmine had went to my cousin Dana, don't you know? A family member that's hating on family members. That used to be my favorite cousin. We just had a cousin Vic that passed away abruptly a few
Yes.
weeks ago, and
Wow.
we had to get together. Cousin Dana was there sitting at my table, being all nice to me. But I'm a little bit hurt about it, especially when I just found this out that she went to cousin Dana's and didn't come to my party. And my friend went to a lot of extent. It was very classily done out in Canton, right by his house. Big old house,
Right.
got vegan food, spent all this money, and she didn't even have respect, which our family's all about.
Yes.
So that really didn't rub me very bright, and that was the first thing. And that's when I sent the message to clear that up about threatening and that.
So
I never,
let's clear that up. When did you send that message?
okay, I sent that message because I was started, like I said, it started progressing after tons of messages trying to reach out. I said, because she only lived right in the next city and I wanted to work out. You know what I mean? I'm physically fit. I might be an older girl, but I was a professional dancer for 30 years.
Right.
And I was very physical. I didn't grab the pole and buy boobs. I'm naturally breasted. But anyway, I really danced. I was very physical, on the poles. I was doing pole tricks before girls did pole tricks.
Right.
Really, I did. I did. I used to headline. But anyway, uh, so anyways, yeah, and I'm a character. So I started thinking maybe Gino didn't want me to meet her because I do have a temperament and
Right.
she was starting to rub me wrong. And that Christmas party is what got me because I knew and I didn't even know she's at my cousin Dana's, don't you know?
So now I have to ask you, why do you think Michelle and Dana have turned against Gino and are defending her so fiercely?
I'm going to put it out there. I know my cousin Dana, and I don't care because it's hating on my brother Gino, and I'm a little pissed, even though we got along, and he said he wants to get together, but then he says you better take down a post about Jasmine. She called me and said she might get a lawyer. She's worried about you. I wouldn't touch that girl. I'm a classy bitch. I don't care. I can get down, but I can be classy too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know. She was just rubbing me wrong. And I just, in the, it's an amendment in the Constitution, freedom of speech, and I used it. I stated facts, and she really upset me because I could see how she hurt my brother that night and the way he took the gifts.
Right.
And that's when I started getting a little resentful because, or I wanted to meet the girl. You know what I mean? I don't understand. And then I'm thinking, what is she worried about? She's all muscles and stuff. Was she worried? But she is in my country though. She's not in Panama, so I can understand where she was concerned. But
Right.
I would harass or threaten that girl. I got better things to do.
So Jasmine put the message out recently. When did you actually send
Yeah,
it?
just recently. Okay, back to that. Um, I put that message out when I got on Instagram, and the first thing that popped up was a picture of her and Matt, that she had a new man. And I went, "You did not do that to my brother." And then you got this guy you're effing
Right.
with my family name. I'm wearing my family Balustrade Palazzolo shirt. You
Right.
don't do that to my family, girly. Jazzy.
She's still
Sorry.
wearing her wedding ring.
And can you believe it?
Did you see that on the tell-all? She's like flashing
Yeah,
her wedding ring. It's like, are you kidding me?
yes, ma'am. Oh, girl, that made me so upset because she's disrespecting my name. If she wants to have Matt's baby and be all like that, she can change and get her name changed or something quick. And I'm not trying to threaten her,
Right.
but
Get a
more
divorce. And
my
that's
name.
another question I want to ask you. Have you ever said to Gino, why aren't you just divorcing her? Because we don't understand.
Honestly, there's a lot he doesn't want to share because of the show and the
Right.
contracts and things like that. But things that I do know, when he was at our last Christmas party, he was all showing us, well, it was all over the air about how he had the two son of Lindsay and Terry. He had the two girls, they call it a throuple.
Yes.
And I'm not mad. They're hot girls. And
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 you
friends of
have a
mine. And
history. And you have a history with Lindsay and Tara, don't you?
yeah, we all worked together before. I wouldn't doubt it if I worked with Matt. I found out he was the doorman at the club, so
Valet
he might
Parker.
he might know me. I went by Gypsy.
Who knows? I mean, it's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Lindsay and Matt worked together. Lindsay, Matt, and Tara all worked together at one point. So
I wonder what club it was because I'm thinking it was BT's in
no,
Dearborn.
they worked at the landing strip together.
At the landing strip, I worked there, girl. That's where I knew him, but I don't know. I don't remember. I have ADHD. Sometimes I don't remember. Plus, I smoke a lot of weed and I
Yes.
forget.
We have to talk to Lindsay and we have to,
I
complete.
want to go out with you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll
Yes, yes,
talk.
definitely. I think I might be taking a trip to Michigan. So,
We should have a pajama party.
yeah,
I'll,
right. Yeah, right. All of us in our pajamas.
yeah.
So, let me ask you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, when Jasmine started basically insulting your brother on TV and online, talking about intimacy and not being
Yeah.
intimate and all
He's
that.
not gay, everybody. My brother is far from gay. Okay. I've got friends of mine that hit me up that work in clubs, classy clubs, girls that have class that aren't cheap, and they don't suck toes on national TV. But anyway, uh, he's not gay. I'm sorry. What were you gonna
No, no,
say?
no, it's okay. It's okay. Let's see.
I love it, girl.
I know, me too. I
We
told.
could talk for
Oh,
hours.
yes, we can. I totally lost my train of thought. But
I've been doing that.
Jasmine, she has basically what in my opinion, has put out a smear campaign against your brother because she's trying to deflect from the fact that she got pregnant by her side thing. That's purely my opinion. So, do you see like the stuff that like Jasmine is putting out there and like insulting your brother and saying at least Matt has hair and
Oh God, that hurt
A
me for
working,
him.
I know. It's
And
like,
a working eggplant. Yeah, I
yes,
seen that.
yes.
I really that really rubbed me wrong again.
Did you did you get to talk to Gino about it? Do you see him affecting him?
Actually, I don't think he lets it bother him too much.
Okay.
I know I hit him up and he's gonna watch this, but I love my brother, and he's happier now that he left Jasmine than he was with her. So God bless her for leaving him.
Yes, yes. I mean, everything happens for a reason, you know?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because I honestly, sorry, Gino, you would have never left Jasmine.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't have. And like he was with the Brazilian wife, she used to like run him and tell him, like we'd be at family gatherings, she would say, "Don't smoke," and she'd always feed him beans and rice. He'd get it real small. But I think that he likes to be told what to do to one of them type of guys, you know. He likes a girl like a bossy girl, like I'm a boss. I got boss blood in me.
Right.
But I can tell Jasmine would be I would have to tape her mouth, girl. I'm sorry, but her mouth and her irritating voice just gets like Rob had it. Right,
Oh,
they felt like, and then you got in that voice.
yes. Oh my
That's
God.
Rob out there too, by the way. Love you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for having my sister's back.
yeah, that was quite a scene, and we loved every moment of it.
Yes,
We loved every moment of it. So,
yes,
this is not the first time that Jasmine has twisted text messages for her purposes, right? Uh,
yes.
we all know about what she did to Lindsay, how she lied and said Lindsay got her fired from her job because she sent her nudes to her job.
And that was Lindsay that did that scandal. I heard that scandal, but I didn't know it was
Yeah, it was
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Yes,
I
Gino's
love
ex Lindsay,
Lindsay.
which it was all bullshit because how could Lindsay know where she works, right?
Right, exactly.
So your brother even said that she got fired because of a personality conflict with her boss. Basically, she didn't get along with her boss. So this is
She's she's a crocodile tears all the time. Did you see that picture of Matt with the crocodile body and his and Jasmine's face?
yes,
And Matt goes,
yes, I saw that. Yes.
I
So
don't. I'm sorry, but I don't see that lasting either. She's too emo. That girl needs medication. She needs to see a psychiatrist, dude. I
yes,
think he's schizophrenic. Just
I'm not sure what she is, but yeah, I think she needs to see a doctor.
a little advice: go see a doctor and get some
In my opinion,
medication.
I mean, I don't know anything. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a YouTuber.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there. She needs help.
So, Uncle Marco, we love Uncle Marco,
God bless Uncle Marco, and thanks for putting me and giving me all those props, Uncle Marco. I
but
know you're watching.
unfortunately, he was even a part of the campaign, and she dragged all of his dirt out there. And in
I
my
know.
opinion, she was the one that tipped off other accounts about his DWI arrest in January, which I'm not condoning that because Uncle Marco should know better. But
Yeah, he was on the deep end. He stopped by here and he was all out of it, crying to me and things. But
no,
I love him. I see my dad pass, and I see my dad and my but Uncle Marco was always my protector uncle because I left my house at like 15.
right. And you said that that deeply affected Gino a
When
lot.
I left, yeah, my dad was physically abusive, and that played a role in my mom passing. To keep a long story short, in case family's watching, but I left my home at like 15, and Gino had a real. I think that I abandoned all of them, and it hurt. It hurt them all in a different way.
Right,
Gino, I think, was affected because without me to take care of the kids, my dad brought a lady in who was the stepmother from hell. You know what I mean? A very abusive mentally, emotionally. I know physically with my sister, but not my brothers.
right,
My brothers were never physically abused. It was just the girls and
right,
just me, really. My sister never went through none of that. I did. I was the only one, but
right.
I look like my mom. Okay. But anyway, so and then all that going on that my brother had to watch because my dad would do that to me, what he did to my mom after she died.
Right.
I thought he was going to kill me, so I had to leave. Which my brothers, I said goodbye. I thought they understood. I lived a mile down, and I would go over and check on them. And then I ended up living back there with the stepmother.
Right.
Uh, I went back to be a medical assistant, went to school and things like that. But, Gino was older, and I could tell there was like a big wall there with him at that time. So a lot had happened. And, I love them all, and I tried to be there. But Gino was never a talker. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I said, he
Right.
just was very, very withdrawn. When my mother said he was born in the sack of water,
Okay.
and that's very rare. And they say those are like special babies. Like there, he was a really good kid too. When my mom died, and I had to watch everybody. He
Right.
would always amuse himself doing things, but he was real quiet. He'd like sit in a corner and like study things. He was really smart. And he played chess all the time. He was a chess champion. He'd
Oh,
always get
wow.
trophies. Yeah, but he was like a quiet nerd type. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. So, so your Uncle Marco in the beginning kind of had the wool pulled over his eyes by Jasmine. You know,
Yeah.
he really fell for her whole thing, but now Uncle Marco has even aired her out. What do you think about the things that he said?
Oh, for sure. Well, when he was here, me and him had that conversation because I was like saying how I really feel, which I'm not gonna like go there on this live thing or on this because I'm not the kind of girl that's gonna get all crazy like that on the air. But in real life, I got a short temper. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's partly why Gino never let me meet her because she started rubbing me wrong. So and then Uncle Marco and me talked all about it. We talked about Dana. It was about money. It's
Right.
always about money, and money will come in between family members these days. It's really sad. And I never thought my family would turn against a family member. So now that I know that, like I said, I just seen cousin Dana a few weeks ago. I'm getting along great. He hit me up, but I noticed he was trying to tell me to take down posts about Jasmine, how she's trying to get me, whatever, for threatening or harassment. I'd like you to try because I was stating facts, and I never did that. You were not pregnant at the time, by the way. Let me clear that up. And that wasn't even out. I had just found out that she was with Matt, and that really pissed me off. Sorry. You're not going to be a Palazzolo and then get pregnant too. So I'm a little upset with that. But I cause her harm? No. Put that out there.
I don't think you would cause her harm either, Lisa. I mean, you're a
I
big
mean,
sister.
it's neither here nor there, but she really needs to do something about my family name she's carrying around because I don't like that. From me to you, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to say that later.
No, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. So, have you seen anything about yourself on social media that you want to clear up to the view?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I want to bring up all those things. People, let me say this. Haters make us famous. You
That's
know what
very
I mean?
true. That's
Haters
very
make us famous. I had some haters on there, calling me a drug addict, meth head, crackhead, and all that. Let me tell you something. Drug test me, okay? I come a long way, baby. I might have had problems way back in the day. I started entertaining in the 80s, in the early 80s.
right.
Cocaine's a big thing. I'll just say it how it is. And I was, playing the game in the game and all that. It was about money with me. I was making money. You know what I mean?
I know.
Put it that way. But along with making money, I got an addiction. But I've been clean up that shit for at least 20 years now. Would never go back. You know what I mean?
Good.
It went along with the territory. I was an entertainer. It was fast life, the adult industry, and that just went along with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm far from it. And I'm really against that. And for somebody to call me that really pissed me off. So let me tell you, I love weed and weed derivatives, wax. That's it.
Weed is our best friend.
And
We
a little glass of wine. Mamma mia.
right. Weed keeps us calm.
Yeah, I got you, man. I'm
Medication.
Sicilian. I got that temper, girl.
I'm on medication, so I can't drink a glass of wine, but weed keeps me calm. You know what I mean? So,
I'm not a drinker. I only really drink at our family gatherings because my brother makes wine, and my uncle used to make wine at
oh,
my
that's the
family.
best.
The good
Homemade wine.
Dago bread.
Yes, the good homemade wine is the best.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if you have a message for your brother Gino, who's probably watching us right now, what would it be?
I love you, Gino. I'm so happy you're done with that girl. She was no good, honey. And I'm so sorry to see sadness in your eyes on that episode. But you know what? There's a girl out there that'll have your baby and really love you and have the emotional bond that you so long for. I love you.
What did you think of Last Resort? You watched the whole season. What was
Yes,
your
ma'am.
general impression?
Um, Uh, I can't really stand Jasmine's voice really irritates me. Like I said, I couldn't handle her. But I mean, I would watch it, but I don't know how my brother could do it. I really don't.
How about the other couples? How about like Natalie and Josh?
Natalie and Josh, they're all right. But what's up with this guy? Fabian, what's his name?
Florian, Florian.
Florian.
We love
He's
Florian.
nothing.
I love
You
Florian.
do love him?
I love
You're
Florian.
just
I
a
love the
evil
shit that
guy.
comes out of his mouth. I know we were talking about the fight with Gino in the
Yeah,
last
'cause that
episode.
pissed me off.
I think a lot of it had to do with alcohol, Lisa. They were fucking wasted. And you
I've never seen my brother Gino ever get in a physical altercation.
really,
It blew my mind because Gino never stood up for himself like that and got loud. And I was like, holy cannolis.
that is funny. And you know what else was funny? When Jasmine walked out all pregnant and she
Oh
and then
God.
her and Rob get into it and she threw the shoe at Rob.
I love Rob. Thank you, Rob.
And then he's next to Rob going, she's a hoe. She's a hoe.
No, that was so good. And my brother was saying that. And you know what? I was so happy for him because I have never heard him. He holds it all in.
Yeah,
He would hold it all in. But that show and the counseling that they had was so good for him in so many ways.
that's
And
good
he
to
is
hear.
such a better person. He smiles. He's really genuinely happy now. And you can see that.
That is good it's
You
good.
didn't see it on that last episode, but in real life, I see it.
It's good to hear that that therapy, actually worked for somebody because the therapy was a mess to say the least. So,
Yes, it was. Yes.
um, if Jasmine is listening, what is your message to her?
Jasmine, no hard feelings, girl. But what I spoke are all facts, honey. And in the United States, we have a constitution that states we have freedom of speech. I did not threaten you when you were pregnant. That message that I sent that you put all out there was sent to you after I seen a picture on Instagram with you with Matt. First of all, you're not with my brother. You're pregnant, having a new family. Please, can you lose my family name? We are a respectful family. Palazzolo name you have has respect to it. Out of respect, honey, just lose the name and go on with your life and be happy because my brother is way better without you. He's so happy now. So thanks for leaving him. And I just want to say thank you for my heart for leaving my brother.
Do you have anything else that you want to get off your chest, whether it to be to Jasmine or to the fans or
No, I just love you, Mary, for letting me talk from my heart because I was the one that never got to, my voice was never heard. And I really appreciate you.
of course. Of course. Thank you for taking your time and
Yes, ma'am.
and for being patient because this is take three, but we managed to do it.
Yes, and this is going to be awesome.
Yes, yes, I'm going to put the messages in and all that stuff. So, thank you. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Let
Thank,
me know when it airs so I can let everyone know.
I will send you the video, definitely. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everyone,
Thank
for being
you.
patient, and we'll see you next time. Bye,
Yes,
everybody.
ma'am.